welcome to this episode of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. I'm your host, Iona Meade, at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. So, welcome to this episode. It is Health Freedom Tuesday, and the topic for today is balancing your health and your wealth. So, I'm excited to journal with you, visualize with you, and see if we can create some more life work balance for more spiritual entrepreneurs in the world. So if you find value in this episode, please do subscribe, share it out. If you are watching on the YouTube channel, then welcome. If you're listening along on the podcast, then welcome as well. All right. So the theme for the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast again is that life work balance and raising our vibrational frequency. If I raise my vibration, you raise your vibration, then we raise the vibration of the collective. So do leave a comment if you're watching live. Do share this out again. So I break this podcast episode down into 8 parts. If you are new to me, then here's how we'll flow with this episode. If you've got a pen and paper, then that would be really handy. So you can journal, take some notes, but it's a very practical and actionable podcast. So we're going to talk about your frequency. We're going to rate your vibration, how you're feeling. So if nobody's asked you at all today, how are you feeling today? Hopefully you are good. I can see that somebody is on, but I don't see the comments. I am streaming this out in my Facebook groups and all over the social media. So if I don't see your comment and you are commenting, hopefully I can go back and pick up that comment, or watch on the YouTube channel, and then I'll definitely be able to see your comments. So we're going to rate our vibrational frequency. The second thing we're going to talk about today is vision boarding. I love vision boards. If you know me, I'm always, for years and years and years, I've used them. And I've actually created a 7-day spiritual business vision board challenge for you. It breaks each area of your life down. And then we continue on the journey on this Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. So you'll see the link down below in the show notes. It's a free vision board challenge that you can go through. My students love it and they get some great results. So let me know if you have gone through that challenge. And if you're watching in the Soul Legacy Academy and you are one of my students, then make sure that you are scheduled in for the 2-hour monthly coaching call, the Seven Freedoms Frequency call-in gym, so that I can coach you on this. The third thing that we're going to talk about today is gratitude. We know the power of gratitude. We're going to do it the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast way for more spiritual business success. I talk about success, and for me, it's not just about business. I wanted to have that balance in all areas of my life, and I wanted, if we don't have our health, we don't really have very much, really. So we're going to express gratitude. The next thing we're going to do is see how you launch your day, lead your day, and leave your day. As a founder of the Soul Legacy Academy, I'm all about living your legacy now. Sometimes people think that, oh, when it's my time up, my legacy will be. Your legacy is the things that you're doing now. That is your legacy, because we don't know how long we have on this earthly plane. So I want to support you in launching your day, leading your day, and leaving your day, and making the most of every single day. That's the part that I love. So the next thing we're going to do is our next 3 soul guided action steps around balancing your health and your wealth and creating more life work balance. The 6th thing we're going to do is play the soul income game. I think that is the favorite part. And if you've done my vision board challenge, then you'll know what that is. But basically, we're raising our vibrational frequency around money. And so you might think, oh, well, health and wealth, okay, balancing it. Do we need money for our health? And there's so many things that we've probably got on our vision board that do cost money. So a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs do what they do and they're not in alignment with receiving that money. So we'll talk about that. And then I have been listening to the Audible book today based on my health. So every single day as an author, I love reading. I love gaining knowledge and different perspective from other authors. And so I usually listen to or read at least a chapter of a book every single day. And so the book that I was listening to today was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, the late Louise Hay, and that's her leaving her legacy. So if you've read it or listened to it, and you haven't for a while, then definitely pick it up, and I'll read out a little bit of what I took from today. It can literally change your life. You can heal your life, it changes your life. And then I pulled a card for today, which I will reveal at the end, and then I will invite you to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, our free monthly networking call. I'm the producer of the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, so I'm excited to have more spiritual entrepreneurs who have a movement inside of them to come and have a conversation, continue on this conversation and connect and co-create and collaborate and cross-promote. I love creating joint vision partnerships. So you'll see on the Soul Legacy TV YouTube podcast, my YouTube channel, how I've just got started with doing my interview series again on a fellow soul guided influencers sharing their spiritual awakening story. That's the way that I love to create those partnerships, with interviews and getting featured in the media. So that's our focus for our monthly calls. So if that resonates with you, then again, the link will be down in the show notes and in the description. All right, so let's go with rating our vibrational frequency for the day. So we rate between a 1 and 11. And if you're familiar with the Wheel of Life, lots of coaches use a Wheel of Life, and they create a circle, you draw a circle or use a diagram, and you divide your life into however many areas you choose. For us, we do 7 areas. And I'll share those 7 areas if you are new to the podcast. And many coaches ask you to rate how fulfilled you feel in those areas of your life, and then rate between a 1 and a 10. And for me, it wasn't enough. And I knew that focusing on the external world and expecting that to change and saying that I feel unfulfilled and unsatisfied, I was going to attract more of the same. So if you're familiar with the law of attraction, underneath the law of attraction is the law of vibration. So that's what I teach as a law of vibration teacher. And so we go with the rating between 1 and an 11. And so, hey, welcome. So you can leave a comment and I will pull them up on the screen. You have to give StreamYard the permission. Again, I'm streaming it out, so I can't see everybody's comments, but I will get back to them. So with the law of vibration, what we do is we rate between a 1 and an 11. So 1 is when you feel in what I call soul funk or soul flow, and that's kind of just a really easy way to check in with how we're feeling. You know, when you're feeling like, yes, everything's working, everything's popping, everything's coming to me, like it's done. I've done my visualization, it's already done in my mind, and then the universe conspires to bring all of the people, resources, tools, what ideas to you, right? And regarding health and balancing that health and wellness, so that's the topic for today. So we think being in vibrational alignment, so how do you feel about that area of your life? How do you feel about your health? How do you feel about wealth? Because health is wealth. So we don't think just being in service in the world and contributing and then not receiving. So for me, creating the 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast was all about that life work balance. So the 7 areas that we focus on is contribution freedom on a Monday. And I talk about living an intentional life, setting your intentions. So we talk about contribution freedom on Mondays, health freedom, which is today, health freedom Tuesdays, emotional freedom Wednesdays, environmental freedom Thursdays, relationship freedom Friday, spiritual freedom Saturday, and financial freedom Sunday. And I use an acronym called the Cheers to Financial Freedom Frequency. So we bring all of those areas and we focus, we visualize, and we raise our vibration, because each area is interlinked. So how you feel about one area is probably impacting all areas. I don't know if you've ever heard that, how you do anything is how you do everything. So we want to have those habits and those rituals and those routines to elevate, right? To raise our vibration. So how you feel between a 1 and an 11 is in soul funk versus soul flow. So being in alignment with source, guidance, universe, whatever you want to call it. For me, I always share my rating on a daily basis. And one of the things where we journal in the Soul Legacy Journal, journaling every single day, and me coming live and sharing my journaling processes to hold me accountable for raising my vibration, because we often drop off. And one of the really great things is that when we rate our vibration every single day between a 1 and 11, and it doesn't matter what your vibration is, it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, it's just how you feel about it. And you can change how you feel about it by changing your thoughts and beliefs about it, right? And I know you know. So in the process of journaling, when I look back from setting my intentions from last Tuesday to now, and setting more intentions just for the week, right? We've got this big vision and this big mission, but we can just take like 1 week at a time. And so I know that last week, my vibration, I can look back in my journal, although I don't have my journal on me, but I can look back in my journal and I know that I rated out of 10 for different reasons. And so I was like, okay, well, I set the intention to raise my vibration around balancing my health and my wellness. And then I set action steps to be in alignment with that, right? So today my vibration is at an 11. Did I do all of the actions? I didn't. I changed the actual belief around my health and wellness, and I'll share a little bit more. And I do, when I share my successes, I share when I drop off, I share the insights, I share as my belief shift, because I think that there's a lot of people in the world that share all of the highlight reels on social media, and really behind the scenes that like chaos is unfolding. And I wanted to share, so I will share my beliefs around my health and why my vibration raised. So write down your vibration. Mine is at 11, and whatever it is, it's okay, because we're gonna go through this journaling process to raise it, so there's no blame, shame or guilt, as Robin would say. So the second thing that we want to talk about and move into, in terms of your success as a spiritual entrepreneur, I work with spiritual entrepreneurs who have a movement inside of them, and oftentimes they will think about their contribution and serving and doing all the things and doing the most, and not actually taking care of themselves, especially when you go through a spiritual awakening, and I say a dark night of the soul. And I went through, if you don't know, if you're new to me, towards the beginning of this year, and for like the most part of a year, burnout. My last spiritual awakening was through burnout. I was fostering 3 children under 5, and you do what you need to do for family, but I was burnt out. And so now, looking back, there's only like a few months. It's October now, so it was in August, at the end of July, the very end of July, where I transitioned back into building my business online. And I feel amazing when I look back and doing this journaling process and coming to you and doing the 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast. I was doing lives on Facebook. Then I've come back to do on my YouTube channel, and I feel amazing. And I've been doing the process anyway. And so I know it works. I know that, journaling and visualization, and we know that it works, and it's a process that I wanted to share. So when you look at your vision board, it was the end of July that I did my free vision board challenge for that. And every time I start with a vision board, no matter what, you come back to that vision. And when you're clear on your vision, it helps you get clarity and raise your vibration, and kind of leave and let go of the things that that you're doing, the habits and the rituals and routines that are not in alignment with your self-image. So when I did the vision board challenge, I had certain images on my vision board. And so when I play my vision board daily, I know whether I'm in alignment with it or not. And it's only been a few months, and so much has manifested, and I feel completely different. And so I do the vision board challenge for me first. I do it for you, and I do it for my students, so it's a win. But I do it for me first, and I do it live annually on the second week in December, Monday to Sunday at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So if you do want to do that vision board challenge, let me know how you get on with it. And there's replays from July, and then there's the upcoming lives, and you can click notify me, and you'll know when I go live. and we'll do it together. We'll visualize together. One of the things that I was listening to today was Dolores Cannon. She was talking about manifesting, right? And she was saying that you have to decide what it is that you want and put your order into the universe. Many people don't do that. They do the opposite, because what they're thinking, what they're feeling is the opposite of what they want to experience. And so she was saying that you put order in, and you put the order in detail. And she walked through a visualization process, and she says, imagine, and you do this. And I think it's something that I will incorporate into the vision board challenge, because it's really helpful, and into the journaling process. So she said, imagine there's 3 doors in front of you, and one door is a year from now, one door is 5 years from now, and one door is 7 years from now. And choose the door that you want to walk through, and then be in that. Like she said, that imagine that there's fog and you get through that fog. So I liken that to clarity. And she says, what does your life look like at that 1 year, that 5 years, or that 7 years? So we do the vision board challenge for a year, and then I've scheduled my business out for 7 years. So I did the visualization for a year. And she says, what does your life look like in all of those areas? What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? Where are you? What are you doing for your job? What are you doing around any area of your life? So if we did it around your health in a year, what does it look and feel like? And have you got it on a vision board? And are you in alignment? So we'll talk about the steps that you can take. Once you really get clear on how you want to feel. And she says that you've got to have it in your mind where it's already done. And I think that's the hardest part for many of us, myself included. But I've practiced, and I'm always practicing, and I've committed every day to practice that, and to share my experience, like putting it to the test. There's many people that think that law of attraction doesn't work, and I often talk about the shedding of our old vibration. It looks like chaos is unfolding in our life, but really you're manifesting your vision, and old things in your life have to fall away. And I'm in that season where there's so many things that fell away from making the decision to actually be in alignment with the vision. And so in a year's time of traveling while I teach, and earning while I learn, and so being in that season, I wanted to share that journey on my YouTube channel. I wanted to share that journey with you. So when I look at a year, it just feels incredible, and I feel that vibration now. And that's why I didn't have to do the external stuff to feel the way that I felt, because I feel in alignment with it, if that makes sense. And then I looked out in 7 years, especially when she talked about the job. And I'm like, yeah, I've scheduled my business out for 7 years. So this is what I will be sitting doing, recording the podcast, but obviously being further along than I am now. It's just really, really incredible to get that clarity. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in life, but letting life happen to us, or creating and manifesting our life, I just think it's amazing. So in terms of your health and your wellness and your wealth, where are you now? Note that down, because we're going to do action steps to move you forward. And again, if you're a student in the Soul Legacy Academy, I do have that 2-hour monthly call, and it's just amazing to see and witness my students manifesting so much really, really quickly. When I first did the vision board challenge, I think it was March, maybe February, March 2021. I've done vision boards since I came online in 2008-9. But I did it with my students, and we did this a year at a time. And so many things happened. And one of my students just manifested so much. And it was like the time collapse of 6 months. And not only for her, for her husband, for her children, for her extended family. And they watched it, and then they got involved, and they did the whole intentional living. It's just such a powerful process. So let's talk about the next thing, which is expressing gratitude. Now, if you've watched The Secret movie, you're familiar with it, then you might be familiar with the gratitude rock or gratitude stone. So I have mine. I hurt my finger. But I've got mine. It's a gratitude love heart my daughter gave me. And so when I say gratitude, I hold it. It's just a reminder of being grateful for what you have now. So yes, we do set the intention for balancing our health and our wealth. But without being grateful for what we've got now, we're repelling anything else that we do visualize, because the universe says, no, you're not actually grateful or responsible with what you've actually got. So definitely being grateful. And so the way that we do it for the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast is to talk about that health and wellness and that success. Again, success means having success in every area of my life. I didn't want to leave an area out, because sometimes when we're focusing on contributing, again, we leave other areas out. So the way that I do gratitude is to say I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate. Because when we just express gratitude, sometimes we have a lack energy in it. Like, we're grateful that this thing is not happening rather than just being grateful. So I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate it. And we're going to go through each of the acronym, the Seven Freedoms. And I will do mine. I will share what I'm grateful for in this moment. Unscripted, not journaled out, just what comes to me. And I do that every single day, because for me, I call it soul speaking into existence. So one of the ways that has really helped me to express gratitude more freely, when you don't feel like, those moments that you don't feel like you've got anything to be grateful for, right, is to think about the past, something that you're grateful for, the memories that you have, something in the present, or something in the predicted future if you're stuck. But also, if you've got something on your vision board that you really want to focus on manifesting, bringing that into the present now and being grateful like it's already done helps. So in terms of contribution, so I'll go through each of the Seven Freedoms. So for me, I'm happy. I'm just going to have a sip of coffee, and it's not decaf coffee, and I'm going to have to go and get some. So I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate contribution, or being able to work from and do this podcast from anywhere, and being able to live a life that is in alignment with freedom, and knowing what that looks and feels like for me. I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate. There's so many teachings online. There's lots of books, videos, courses, and people that I've learned from. So I'm grateful that people share their knowledge in abundance so that I can implement it. I'm a really big implementer, so I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate, in terms of health, having the vitamins that I have, and eating clean for the most part, just knowing what works for my body. I think for me, figuring so many things out and then doing this podcast and this journal and the Soul Legacy journal, and understanding where I'm at and what works for me, I'm really happy and grateful for that, because it's taken a long time to actually figure that out, and just doing what works 80% of the time. I'm really happy and grateful for that. And again, so many people sharing their knowledge. Like, when we want to know something around health and wellness and all the things, we've got an author or a YouTuber or a course or something like that. And I think probably that's the theme of, being able to access so much information, and then applying it, and then trial and error, seeing what's working. Again, I can't see any comments coming through, but if you do have some and it's helping, then let me know. All right. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate, in terms of emotions, and this has been the theme all week, and it was the theme from last week, is just in the moment, knowing that I can choose my emotion. I can choose to be down and sad about things, or I can shift my perspective and my belief about something. And again, I'm happy and I'm grateful that I am aware, have that awareness, and um, having that freedom to choose no matter what's going on is really liberating and empowering. So I'm happy and grateful for that, and I'm happy and grateful for the emotional scale that Abraham Hicks has devised so that I can be in tune and rate my vibrational frequency around my emotions and feel into that and create life from that. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow, which is Emotional Freedom Wednesday. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate in terms of environment. Oh my gosh, this is a big one. So I am in a different environment than I was in last week. And again, being able to bring my work at short notice into a different environment and then just put my stand up and my ring light and then just go and record feels really amazing. I'm in an environment that feels really calming, really peaceful, and I feel so blessed. I'm really, really, really super grateful. Um, and if you know part of my story, and again, when I was going through the burnout and I made decisions to give up my home and do all the traveling, and I went to London, and I've been in London with a friend, and I'm happy and grateful for that environment as well. But shifting gears and being in an environment that I have been in before I moved to London, and it's more in the countryside, and that's where I feel like home. I used to think that I was a city girl because that's where I grew up, but I love the nature and walking in nature and being in nature and that calming and that peace and that silence. It's lovely. It's amazing. So I'm really happy and I'm smiling a lot. So I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate that. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate for in terms of relationships, the relationships that I manifest and I call in, and just the amount of peace and connection that I have in my relationships now. And I'll talk more on Relationship Freedom Friday. But I'm really, really grateful. I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with myself at 50. I finally feel like I figured some stuff out, and I know that I have more things to figure out. But I'm at peace. It's nice. I'm happy, and I'm even when it doesn't look like peaceful on the outside. I know on the inside, and the things will catch up. I'm happy and I'm grateful for spiritual freedom. Oh gosh, listening to, and I was recommended to listen to Dolores Cannon, and her work and her teachings are just really on point, and they're helping me understand even more what I'm teaching. So we teach what we need to learn most, right? And so I will forever be a student. And as a teacher of the law of vibration, I'm always open to learning more, and it just feels really amazing. I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate in terms of finances that the health and the wealth. I know that no amount of money, and again, like watching or reading or listening to others share their story. I was watching Jada Pinkett Smith, talking about her journey and the amount of success that woman has had. And she said, you know, all the money, the fame, the success, the man, didn't bring her happiness. The finances, the money didn't bring her happiness. And I'm really happy and grateful and appreciate no matter what level that I get to, this is grounding me. And so being open to receiving the financial freedom as part of the seven freedoms, and having that awareness, like not chasing the money, and I don't need to chase it, and being open to it coming to me even more in the way that I want to contribute. So one of the reasons why I've created the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast and the SoulLegacyTV Spiritual Business Success with Iona is to understand that what success means to me, and knowing that I can contribute and receive the financial freedom, so I could have more freedom. I have the vision of freedom, the value of freedom, and raising my vibration around freedom. So that was a long, a long gratitude, but that's where you want to get to. Obviously for you, when you're doing it and you're doing it alone, you don't have to do it with me, it's going to be shorter, but I'm explaining my process and my journey and what comes to mind. And again, this is for me as well as it's for you, so hopefully you'll find value in it. So let's move into how we launch our day, how we lead our day, and how we leave our day. So we rated our vibrational frequency, right? We talked about our vision, we express gratitude for everything that we have. Okay, so now is where the rubber meets the road, and you in this human form get to actually commit to your health and your wellness and balancing that. And yes, the universe will conspire and bring all the things to you, but it doesn't mean that you just sit on the couch or you sit wherever you are and you don't do anything. So for me, I'm sitting here, I'm chilling, sitting cross-legged, speaking to you, but in terms of all of the seven freedoms, how I launch my day, lead my day, and leave my day, you can visualize as much as you want, but if you don't have and the beliefs obviously shape your experience, but if you don't have the habits and the rituals to meet the universe in the middle, you can visualize all you want, but then you sabotage your own success. And so we want to be thinking about how we can inject more the freedom, the feeling of the freedom into our life and what we want that to look and feel like. So yes, we've got the big vision, a year, 7 years. What does it look like now? Like, how can you sow the seeds for then, now? So say for me, on my vision board, I've got a banging body and a beach body, and I'm traveling and I'm doing all the things on the beach. But if, like when I was, before I did the vision board again in July, I wasn't eating right. I just wasn't doing all the things, and I wasn't feeling the way that I feel now. And so how I launch my day in the morning, how I lead my day, and how I leave my day matters. And so it wasn't in alignment. And so I didn't have that. I usually do, right? So I dropped off and I had different priorities. My health wasn't my priority. And so therefore I was out of alignment. And so now it is about the drinking the water, and I've done some action steps that I want to do throughout the week, because I dipped a little bit, not crazy, but not the level that I know that will get me to where I am. So how you launch your day in terms of your health and balancing that, what does it look and feel like for you in your morning? People say the morning routine, like how you start your day, is how the day will go. It's like if but if you've got this power hour, and then you're leading your day with the contradicting what it is that you really set the intention to manifest, it doesn't matter about that power hour. You can reverse all of the results. So how you launch your day in terms of your health, like your sleep, your nutrition, your intake, your consumption. If you're intaking low vibrational foods, if you are complaining, your mental health. I talk on the vision board challenge about your mental health, your emotion, and that's my vision, to improve the mental health and well-being, I say, of our nation and our future generation, and it starts with us. So your mental health, what you're doing for your mental health in the morning, throughout the day, leaving your day, what you're doing for your physical health, your emotional health, your social health, your environmental health, spiritual health. What does that look like? Visualize it. And if you are needing to let something go, then do that, and willing to let something in so that you can have that life. And I know that there's restrictions sometimes with, like, there's certain things that you might want to do when you might not be in the environment to do it, and that's okay. but just as much as you can, like visualize, like, okay, well, how do I bring certain things in? And it'll come naturally. And again, I have the 2-hour monthly coaching called the 7 Freedoms Frequency Call Engine for my students. And I teach about being an author and being a spiritual entrepreneur and building your business on YouTube, a spiritual business, and launching your #1 best-selling book and creating online courses and programs. But I gift that call to my students. It's a value of $77 a month, because every single student in the bootcamp and the mastermind, I want to support in creating that life work balance. I want you to, I don't, the idea is not like do all things, because I have a lot of teachings, do all these things, burn yourself out, like be working 24/7. And I do when I'm creating a project, which I have been, and building a business. It takes, a lot of working, but we want to balance those things out. Like, we still want to be taking time out. And I say it from experience, not like to preach to the choir kind of thing. So how you launch your day, leading your day, and leaving your day. What does that look like in terms of balancing? And only you can do that for you, right? When you're doing that for you and you're doing that for your family, people see how you are moving and they model it. So as a legacy, a health legacy, I had 3 little children that were watching me, and we were focusing, and we were, living intentionally, and they came from a background where their health wasn't necessarily prioritized. And so in me learning what I was learning, I was able to pass that on. So hopefully I'll be able to pass that on. So we have looked at how you want your day to look and feel. If there's something, and if it feels amazing, just keep doing that. If no matter which area of the 7 freedoms, sometimes you have one area that is more out of balance than others. And if you're already doing amazing things, put that in your calendar. And I say living intentionally is, if it's not on my calendar, I'm not doing it. If it doesn't feel like fun, I'm not doing it either, because I'm in alignment with my values. So the next thing we want to do is what I call taking soul guided actions. What do you feel now? Okay, well, we've set our rating, we've done our vision board, we've done our gratitude, we've visualized how we want our day, and we know that actually I probably know what works for us. And sometimes we just don't do it. And I'll talk about that in the book with Louise Hay, about our beliefs and procrastination, and sometimes even perfectionism. If something's not perfect, we procrastinate on it. So what actions, 3 actions, can you commit to? And I usually set a timer on my phone. And because I've been working on my phone, I turned off my timers, and that does not work for me. I need that reminder. Hey, it's time to work out. This is on your calendar. Get it done. Hey, so that will go back on my calendar. And hopefully I'm going to be able to manifest, I say hopefully, some weights so that I can do my workout at home rather than walking to the gym. But I was getting really great results by going to the gym and including that in my day. But for me, the walk to it, which I love my walks and I do go out on my walks, the walk to it was like half an hour and half an hour back, obviously, and then a half an hour in the gym, which I love. But doing the business, the times at the gym, because it's not the times that I would necessarily do it in the day. So manifesting the weights and stuff so I can do it, and I can do it at home. That's what I set the intention to do. So for me, my next steps is putting that back on my calendar and making sure there's days of the week. So when my vibration lowered last week to this week, it was like because I hadn't done that. And so I think that I'm going to go to the gym later. We'll see. I will let you know next Tuesday. So that's one thing. Again, for me, for my water, measuring how much water I need a new water bottle, measuring my consumption, my intake. It's tracking, basically, is my thing, the tracking. So my water, my habits, what else? One thing, another thing. I'll talk about the belief around the workout and the sequence of events. making sure that I'm doing things in order that feel really good, and doing those things first before my live. When I'm doing the things that I need to do before I'm doing this live, it works for me. So that's my 3 things that I will do: doing my tracking, putting the things on my calendar, and sticking to it. So I will be held accountable next week. And Robin, when you're watching this, health and fitness, Robin and I started to do a fitness challenge. It was 28 days doing Betty Rocker, I think she's called. And that set me up. It was amazing. Getting an accountability body is huge. That's really, really helpful. All right, so let's talk about this soul income game, and then we'll move into the book before we wrap up, because I want to respect your time. So the soul income game, if you don't know, and I don't have my journal, I didn't bring it with me. I'm like, oh, I packed it and then I used it for yesterday's live, and I don't have it, and I'm using like a notebook, and yeah, it doesn't feel the same. The notebook and the journal that you write in, it feels differently, and I didn't realize until I didn't have it. Take a sip of coffee. So the soul income game, the Soul Legacy journal. So I have a journal that is a companion journal to my co-author book series on spiritual awakening, and I've been talking a little bit about the spiritual awakening, and you can go through a spiritual awakening in many different areas of your life, and health was one of the things that was triggering my spiritual awakening. So I wanted to share my story, and I invite my co-authors to share their story in the Soul Legacy Journal, Spiritual Awakening Stories of 365. And so this journaling process is a companion to that co-author book series. It's also a companion to my summit, the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit. So when I'm journaling in the Soul Legacy Journal, it feels like that sacred space of me awakening. And so when I do the soul income game, I wanted the soul income game to be a tool that supported you. And so when we do our visualization, I know from experience, and I know from students, they're like, well, I'm at this vibrational frequency wherever you've awakened. I don't feel like I'm manifesting the way that I could. Like, I've got this vision, but there's a lack, there's a poverty consciousness rather than a prosperity consciousness. And one of the things with my movement, the Soul Legacy movement, is to support you in moving from a poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. And so the soul income game is played where the Soul Legacy Journal gives you £1,000, dollars, or euros, or wherever you are in the world, every single day. You're welcome. So we have a vibrational money voucher to spend on the things that are on your vision board. So whatever it is that you're visualizing, that your brain does not then give you an excuse and say, I can't have that, or I don't have that. We want to come from, again, this space of it's done. It's manifested, and this has really helped me. And I was saying to someone earlier that my students have manifested so many things, and including moving from working on their phone to manifesting laptops, because you can't build your business with just a phone. Although I'm on my phone now, I couldn't build my business on the phone. So the soul income game, playing that, if you want to contribute in the world and you don't have the tools, you don't have all the things that you need, this is a way to visualize it, be in alignment with it, and have it manifest. So let me know how all the manifestations, as you manifest the different things on your vision board. So the soul income game, we have £1,000, dollars, or euros. Again, we oftentimes, my students have money blocks, like repelling the money, because money has got so many beliefs around it, like money's the root of all evil, people are blah 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 blah. You fill in the blanks of whatever your beliefs around money is. But the 7 freedoms frequency, when we think of contributing, and we think of on Mondays, and we think of financial freedom, I wanted to bring that financial freedom into every single day, so that we know that on our vision board things are going to cost money, and we want to feel safe in terms of manifesting. So one of the things that I wanted to do was encourage you to tithe 10% of that soul income to a worthy cause. My worthy cause is a charity called Compassionate Friends, which I will be volunteering for. It's a charity for bereaved parents because I am one, and I dedicate my work to my son. So with my money and earning my soul client income, I wanted to do amazing things in the world. It isn't about, oh, well, I'm just having this money and it's just for me. I think that when you've got this big vision and a mission and a soul mission as a light worker, as a spiritual entrepreneur, as a service-based business owner, we do want to make a difference in the world. So the more I think of the money that I have in my business in the Soul Legacy Academy, it means that the more people that I've served. So I want to support you in coming from that energy, raising your vibration around that. So hopefully that makes sense. So what is the worthy cause? Who would you be with the money? Where would you be? Who would you be supporting? And so I'm tithing my time as well to that charity, but there's other places that I will be tithing and volunteering and supporting with money. There's a beautiful charity called water. What's it? Water charity. Can't remember the guy's name. But it's such an amazing cause because and again, health. We take things for granted. There's people that haven't got water. So when we are okay with manifesting the money, then we can be the people that actually give back and actually serve and make a difference, right? So hopefully that feels in alignment when you've got those money blocks and you're like, well, money's the root of all. It doesn't have to be. So where would you tithe? And tithe every single day 10%. So that's £100, dollars or euros. The other 900 you can spend and write down in your journal what it is that you want to manifest in detail. And I love the Dolores Cannon. That reminded me today that when we're writing down in detail, that is being in alignment with whatever that is. So for me, I tend not to spend my vibrational money voucher every single day. What you can do is carry it over to the next day so that you've got more. And so I spend my vibrational money on Sundays. But if I wanted to spend my vibrational money in the week, then I can. And so it's a way to feel good about spending the money without having the habits of mismanaging your money. Do you know what I mean? And making those purchase decisions intentionally, like literally going and seeing how much whatever costs. So on Sunday, I bought a camper van. I bought a black camper van. I was buzzing about my camper van. Still buzzing about my camper van. So I'm in that season now, like, oh, that feels really, really good. So we spend our vibrational money voucher. There's rules around this, tithing, and also, also coming from a space, where all of your bills are paid. It's done. Your savings are done. So we don't get to save and hoard the money. The idea is to flow and to believe that it's okay to have that amount of money. So the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge is where we do it in the visible world. So I teach you to build a model online, a spiritual business model that you are serving to the level where you've done the maths and you know how many clients you need in order to bank 50K in 50 days. And when I did my Bank 50K, my own challenge, and I'm about to do it again, I did it for 37 days. I didn't actually complete the 50 days, and it was absolutely epic. And so I knew at whichever level people were enrolling what I actually needed. So for me, I only need 9 clients into my mastermind each month to bank that 50K in 50 days. And so oftentimes it's a mismatch in the self-image. What does Robin Sharma say? That your income can only grow to, no, D. Harbecker says your income can only grow to the extent that you do. And here we are growing together. And Robin Sharma says that your net worth will never exceed your self-image or something like that. I can't remember the exact. I talk about it on the masterclass. But basically, I wanted to grow into the version of me and be able to offer enough value where I feel amazing about it. And so, and I do. And when my students sign up, they love it. So it's a way to practice the soul income game, is a way to sit in the space where you have built your business in a way that allows you freedom, the freedom that you envision, the freedom that you want to have for every single area of your life. We're not taught it. We're not taught it in school. What we're taught is to go out and get a job and work for somebody else and do all of those things until retirement. And there's a lot of people that when they get to retirement, then that's it. They're gone, they're out, because they haven't got those things to do. And I want more than that for you. So that's the soul income game. The book that I listened to today, because I listened to an Audible book. I do write as I do read books as well, but I like listening. I have Erlen and dyslexia, so if you saw my writing, it's terrible. But I love listening. So the book was You Can Heal Your Life, and every single day I will listen to or read a book related to that area of the seven freedoms frequency. So today, You Can Heal Your Life was there to help me balance my health and wealth. So wherever I've gotten to from the week before is where I will pick up. And so starting the YouTube podcast, I've started all of the books again. And on our monthly call, we have the book club. And I know that many of my students, many of my soul tribe love reading books. And we always ask, what book are we reading? What book changed your life? And so I choose 7 books for a week. And no matter whether it's a page or whether it's like a paragraph, I'm fasting, so my belly's just going, whatever that is, then I know that it'll be the message that I need. So I will pull the card and then I will invite you to the call and we'll wrap up. So I want to share a little bit from the book. And again, I can't read my own writing, but the process of writing it down helps me. So Louise Hayes says about your thoughts that create your life, your beliefs, and letting go. And so one of the the realizations that I've had, and I've shared this over the last few years, which is quite a personal story, but I share it anyway. And she was talking about Louise Hayes, known for affirmations, saying affirmations. And she said that many people think that affirmations don't work, but often there's a step that needs to happen before the affirmation. And so you can create affirmations about every single area of your life, and you might have an affirmation to affirm about your health and your wealth, right? And so she said that when you think that affirmations don't work, or you've got habits that are like seemingly in the way of what it is that you want to manifest, say it's around health, and you go, I'll never eat whatever it is, or I'll never do whatever it is. And then before you know it, in that same very day, you're like eating, I don't know, the cake or whatever she says, she said that the cake or whatever it is that's sabotaging is filling a need. And when you think about that, you're like, well, no, because I don't want to do that. There's a belief that needs to be let go and released. And in that, when the patterns that repeat in your life, whether it's this is what she says, not me, whether it's the fat that's serving a need, whether it's the anger, the poverty, the poor relationship, the abuse, whatever it is, it's serving a need in you. And she said, in order for that to change, then that physical outer external circumstances is the inner. And we know this, but sometimes we then expect the external world to change without changing the belief or the pattern. And this is me doing that, speaking and seeing what is it that I believe around all the things. So I have shared this over the time, and when I was in my last relationship with my twin flame for like 4 years, I remember like working out, doing insanity. So this is my health. I want to live to 100, right? And so I'd set that intention. So my mum's mum lived to 101. And so when I was 40, I'm just going to adjust, my legs gone dead. when I was 40, I saw my grandmother dancing. She was 100 and she was dancing on the dance floor and going down, drinking rum. And I just left the Caribbean with a spring in my step. And I was like, imagine, they say that 40 is midlife. And I'm like, imagine I might have another 60 years of me yet. What do I want to do with my life? How do I want to launch my days and lead my days? And so my actions then became in alignment with that vision of, living to 100. So eating right, working out, and I was doing Insanity, and I felt amazing. But sometimes when we are at a level of success, others have their opinion on your success, right? And that's a reflection of what is going on inside of them as well. Maybe what is going on inside of us, but sometimes. And so I felt really, really confident in my body. I was super skinny when I was young, and I was really self-conscious, and I just went on a mission to just release all of that. I felt amazing. And the person that I was with made a comment that stuck with me, and I had carried that for years, and I knew it. I was aware of it in my subconscious, whatever belief, it wasn't safe to have the body that I had. And so he had said, and I was like, I love me. And the idea You Can Heal Your Life is to love yourself. Louise Hay was saying it in a book, and I love me. And it's like, well, people could perceive that as being arrogant. And I was like, what? I'm not arrogant. And I know, and I've shared on my lives, like, and people are like, that's not you. And the deeper inner work turns around that if he felt confident, then people would judge him. And we did that work, and we openly said that, on our lives and stuff. So I'm not saying anything that, is not being put out there before. And it wasn't a necessarily a judgment on me. It was an internal thing that was going on in him, but it impacted me in the subconscious, and I didn't feel safe to have the body that I really wanted to have. And I'd worked really hard transpire, like, for my self-image, for someone who had been super skinny all my life. I had not put on weight. Like, I wanted to put on weight, right? Even after I had my children. Now that was like when I had excess, like, I was like half a stone heavier than what I was when I fell for both of my children, and I put on like 2.5. So I was really happy, 2 stone each time. I was really happy because I was so skinny. And my friend, who I am staying with in London, when we'd gone on holiday, because on my vision board I have me in a bikini and on the beach, my friend reminded me of when we'd gone on holiday in Lanzarote, which was painful for me. And the way that she describes it, she's like, I remember when you were sat on the beach, and we were sat on the beach, and she was in a bikini and I was in fully clothed. I had trousers on, they were thin, like linen, a t-shirt on, and a jacket, because I was so self-conscious. She's like, I remember, and the way that she remembers it and the way that I remember it. And I said to her, do you imagine someone sitting next to a friend? I didn't own a bikini. Sitting next to her, I can't remember how old, like in my 20s. I imagine how I felt, like. And she's like, oh, she didn't realize. I said, for somebody to be sitting fully clothed on the beach, and we're going on holiday for like a week, a vacation, like, imagine. She's like, oh. And so transpire, like, when I was in the relationship, I was really happy with my body, and someone saying like that could be perceived as arrogant. So now I'm in the relationship, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be perceived as arrogant. You want to be. So I put on weight, and I was like, what reminded me is the pair of jeans that I have on now. I couldn't fit in them for the longest time, and it was around that time. So as Louise Hay said, as I'm journaling, right, is the belief that you have to let go. So last week, my energy dipped. I wasn't doing all the things to take care of my health the way that I had set the intention to. And this week I feel amazing because I knew that I'd let go the belief around all of those things that were holding me back. Like, I'd visualized myself, and it's safe. And I will say that since then, being intimate with someone that appreciates, this is the thing for me, realizing and understanding, being in vibrational alignment with my vision and my values helped me. So being around someone or with someone, dating, and I talk about spiritual dating on my other YouTube channel, when you're in alignment with people who have similar values, it's easy. So being in alignment with somebody that actually values their body and values their health and welcoming that, that's what I needed to change. It wasn't that, oh, well, I need to feel a certain way because you were not secure in your body. I just need to be around people who have similar values that don't judge me or project onto me. And so I realized in this moment that I have let go of that belief and having that appreciation for my own body and people, you know, commenting on my body. Like I'm proud of where I am and I'm in alignment and I do wear bikinis and I do what have you. And it might sound like, oh well, why are you saying that? Well, I wanted to travel while I teach and I want to be on the beach. I want to feel comfortable in my body and I want to look after myself, but having the belief that I'm not worthy. And so when Louise Hay in the You Can Heal Your Life, she said when you have the belief of not being worthy, you procrastinate on things, you put things off. There's so much that shows up in your life. And so I was listening to a video on a guy, I think it's called Derek something, a relationship coach, and he was saying that sometimes when you get in a relationship, and the health, and again, every single health, your mental health, right, as well as your physical health, it all is interlinked. And he was saying that sometimes when you go in a relationship and you come out the other side and you leave with more baggage than what you went in with. And that's how I feel that I did. And I was like, he was great, he was healed. And I left with more baggage than what I went in. And I was like, oh my God, I've got clearing to do. Obviously it's my own stuff as well, but I've got clearing to do. And so I can happily say that I feel amazing. I feel in alignment with the vision on my vision board. So all that to say is my health, my wealth, and listening to a book really really helps. So Louise Hayes talks about a lady that she was working with who was 79 who had a vision of doing a certain career, and she says that you can start your career at any age, and oftentimes I'm 50, so oftentimes you have people's judgment in society that, you know, you're too old to do blah blah blah. And she was saying that one of her clients wanted to do commercials, and she went out there and she did it, she visualized it, and then all of a sudden she was doing it and she made a difference by doing what she wanted to do. So this is the affirmation from today. So Louise Hayes says, say, I am willing to release the need to be unworthy. I'm willing to release the need to be unworthy. And I am worthy of living my very best life. And I lovingly allow myself to accept this. So I want to leave you with that because it matters. The people that I work with, I know struggle with this. And I know, Robin, if you watch this, Robin's got a book talking about being worthy. It's huge. All right, let me wrap up. So we've got the card for today. I pulled the card and it is from Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray. It's a card. And I shuffled these for absolutely ages. This one popped out. It's faith. Card on faith. Don't know if you can see that. So it's humanity and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. And I do, and I feel so calm. And this so I really love that. So the last thing that I want to leave you with is the invitation to come to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers networking call. It's a free monthly networking call to continue on these kinds of conversations with like-minded people who get it and get you, spiritual entrepreneurs, service-based business owners who have a movement inside of them. One of the things that I really struggled with was not having people around me, as you see, that get it, that get that, you know, the lower vibration and taking responsibility for your own feelings, your thoughts, and changing them. So it's a space that where I hold space, but we hold space for each other to root for our own success and not beating somebody up because they're successful in an area that you don't feel good about, you know. So we come together and we continue on the conversation, and we co-create and we collaborate and we cross-promote and create these joint vision partnerships to make our difference in the world. We don't have to do it alone. So I would love to see you on the monthly call. Is for spiritual entrepreneurs who have a movement. If you know of anyone, please share out this YouTube video. Come to the Soul Legacy TV and subscribe. And I noticed that my subscriber count is going up on the channel, which I feel amazing about that. So thank you. If you are a new subscriber, if you're listening to the YouTube podcast, then follow along, download the podcast, and let me know that how you found it. Journal out, use your Soul Legacy journal. This is about awakening, and we know that so many people are waking up and being aware and conscious that we can move from that poverty consciousness to a prosperity consciousness. So yeah, all the links are in the show notes, in the description. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. This power hour went over a little bit over an hour today, but I love you. Thank you so much, and I shall speak to you soon. Big love. Take care.